Oh, hello there. Welcome to the Great Smoky Mountains. Millions of people come here every year to experience the wonders of nature, and the road that allows them to enjoy this natural paradise is the Blue Ridge Parkway. Let's take a look. Unfortunately, this road can be quite dangerous. Motorcyclists who don't respect the laws of the road use it for their own entertainment, and they don't allow those who want to explore nature to do it safely. Me and my investigation team, Dylan, the world's first skateboarding cameraman, and Kat, our motorcyclist translator, head off to the parkway to talk to the cyclists and try to understand their lifestyle.
Okay.
And what is your name?
My name is Roscoe Kirk.
All right. And where are you from?
I'm from Sebring, Florida.
My name's Steve Bryant, and I'm from Privet, Kentucky.
Daniel Estes, Lexington, Kentucky.
Jim Bryant, McKee, Kentucky.
Yeah, Daniel Pulliam from Bloomington, Indiana.
And I'm his dad, Conrad Pulliam, from Martinsville, Indiana.
I'm Greg Kepke, live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I'm Dan Spratt.
Kevin Soltis.
And what got you into motorcycling? Could you tell us a bit about that? How did you meet each other?
Well, we're just friends. We met, actually horses kind of brought us together. And not iron horses, but regular horses.
I've had a motorcycle since I was about 14 years old.
Yeah, earlier memories of, well, back in the day, him putting me on the gas tank and us going for rides.
Yeah. I've been on them pretty much all my life. Nothing like it.
Actually, it all Harley Davidson's all started with the Terminator 2 movie. When he rode the black one in Terminator 2, and I fell in love with the Fat Boy.
Well, I started when I was about 20 years old and rode for years. Sold my last motorcycle in 1972.
The year
and went 42 years without one and bought one. And of course, when I bought mine, he had to have his.
Yeah.
He already had one, so yeah.
Which I got my motorcycle license when I was 16 years old and rode pretty steady up to 2002, and then I took about a 7 or 8 year hiatus when he bought one, and we lived pretty close to each other. Peer pressure broke me down.
Peer pressure.
It's 45 mile an hour. You don't have to worry. We spent 5 days, 6 days now on the parkway. Very little traffic.
Yeah.
Every place we stop, everyone's super friendly. The roads are awesome. The scenery, you can't beat it.
Yeah, it's 460 miles of winding roads. So.
Yeah. Can't be anything bad about that.
Well, I've been coming up here at least once a year for probably the last 10 years. And it doesn't matter how many times you ride the parkway, you see something different every time you ride the parkway. I like to ride, a lot of the other roads, the Dragon's Tail and stuff like that, but the parkway gives you a much more relaxed atmosphere than many of the other roads. It's easier to navigate, and realistically, it's probably the best ride, no matter what part of the parkway you're on.
I think it's one of the most beautiful roads to ride in the country. I've been on Highway 101 in California and Oregon, and I mean, there's just, in one concentrated area, you cannot find better riding that I've seen in North America. I've been to Canada, and not all over Canada, but Canada, Michigan, a lot of riding, Colorado, but I just think pound for pound, you just can't get any better riding than on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
I've been here before, just like the scenery.
Yeah, just a beautiful ride.
Yeah, first time I rode it was probably 20 years ago, and I dropped off and hadn't rode it in a long time until about 3 years ago, I guess, Jim, wouldn't it? We come up here for that first. We come back up here. It's 3 years ago, and then I think we did it last year again, and then we're doing it again this year. It's kind of just about turned into a yearly thing. So.
We asked them what they thought about bicyclists impeding their movement along the parkway.
Bicycle. I've never had a problem with it.
They pretty much stay to the side of the road, and if you see cars that'll slow down, it's either an animal or a cyclist. And so you just slow down and they pull over and go around, and it's been great.
We don't really pass vehicles. I mean, we stay in line and follow the speed limit. We've come up behind on this trip. We rode yesterday north up to the viaducts and then come back. We got behind some traffic that was moving slower than us, but we just follow in line, and they'll usually get off in a turnabout or overlook. But now earlier today, as we were coming to the Parkway, we come up 151, which comes out of Chandler, and we were following a vehicle, a little Prius, and when they would cut through the blind curves, whether it was to the right or left, they were cutting over and going through the center of the road. And if there had been any oncoming traffic, whether it had been a motorcycle, a car wouldn't have been able to get out of the way. And a motorcycle would only had a chance if he was snugged right up against the ditch line, which you're not going to ride the ditch line on that kind of curvy road. So, and I was really uncomfortable watching the vehicle. Danny was watching it too.
I was definitely watching it, because I kept thinking, gosh, I hope that car, nothing's coming his way.
Yeah.
I think at least the people I ride with are very respectful riders. I mean, at the end of the day, they're doing something that they love to do. We're doing something that we love to do. I've never run into a group of cyclists that wouldn't pull over the road. When we passed a bunch on the way up here, just form into one line as you go by them. So, I mean, I can understand why it might be a problem for cars. Obviously, they have the whole lane. But for motorcycles to get around them,
A little bit of road courtesy goes a long ways. Simply wait until you're not on top of a curve and go around them. Some people aren't quite that, courteous. And I don't care if you're in a car, truck, or on a motorcycle.
When you cut half your lane and the other one too, you're taking your half in the middle. Hey, that's a dangerous situation altogether.
And I can't, I hate to cut them a break because they were driving on the wrong side of the road, but they had Florida plates.
I've been in Colorado on one of their big alpine rides. We ran into one accidentally on July, and there was bicycles. Never had an issue. They'd hear us coming. We single lane it past each other. Whatever. Yeah, no, if somebody does have a problem with it, then they probably have a problem. They need to get out of their own way.
It's mostly those guys that wear the spandex pants and the silly hats and silly helmets. I think they tend to hog lanes, but they should go to special areas where they have bicycle lanes provided and stay in those bicycle lanes. I think it would be a lot better for everybody.
I don't believe the motorcyclists truly understand the perspectives of others on the Parkway. We talked to a local bicyclist to try to find out what he thought.
Sometimes cars will blast by me with another car coming the other way, but most of the time on Parkway they're respectful. Most of the time they'll slow down, stay behind you for a while.
This cyclist doesn't seem to understand either. We stopped some travelers in a sports car to gain their perspective.
Did you ever have any trouble with passing people or cyclists or anything?
Not really. We've had a lot today, actually.
A lot of cyclists
several
today.
You have to slow down a little bit, but not too much of a problem.
All right.
Having gained the perspective of other travelers, we returned to the motorcyclists to find their true motives.
2 wheels.
You feel free.
It's like a step back in time for you, and it kind of opens you up and it forces you to see things. When you're traveling in a car or a truck or something like that, you're just whizzing by trying to get from point A to point B. You get on that motorcycle and your eyes just open up and you see so many different things that you never would have seen before. And that's what I'm after.
The motorcycle, you're out in the elements. You have to deal with the environment as it comes. So,
I'd rather ride a motorcycle when you're driving a sports car, and I had a sports car, but you're still sitting in a seat with a steering wheel, enclosed in the vehicle. I mean, even a convertible, you're a little more open. On a motorcycle, you're out in the open. You're leaning as opposed to steering. When you steer a motorcycle, counter steer, but still, it's different than a steering wheel, steering the handlebars, and it just, I don't know. You just feel like you're more involved in the environment you're riding in. If that makes sense.
It seems we have misinterpreted the motorcyclists. They were on the Parkway to enjoy nature, just like me and you. We sincerely apologize for making such a bold assumption. Join us next week as we investigate the true terror of the Parkway, the minivan.